Hello, Forza Motorsports community. It is AOK Games here. And just recently they released on the Forza Motorsport, actually, imminently had just released the Nürburgring track. And that's obviously over in Germany. It's 12 plus miles, and it's all kinds of off-camber turns. It's also combined with the GP Nürburgring circuit, the Grand Prix track. So we're gonna hop into, well, maybe this car, maybe some other cars, a little this, little of that. Got the G923 steering wheel and pedals attached. So let's see what we can get going here. Maybe try out this new content and hopefully not hit any walls or grass patches. But again, I'm a terrible driver, so it is what it is. Just want to see the things in fresh detail and hopefully get back to this game. It's been a while since I've tried this. Was just literally waiting for this content drop. But take a look at our choices here, the cars. I can pick some other ones up, but for now, I just... Oh gosh, so this Mclaren is 2018 that you saw on the cover there. It's probably a little bit too much for me right now to get back into. If we toggle the card, we're talking about, 1,035 horsepower, rear wheel drive here. It's only 3,000 plus pounds. So let's not do the Nürburgring with our hair on fire to start out with. Let's go to something a little bit more manageable, like this. Oh, just kidding. Let's go with something where I can actually make a decent lap. Start with something maybe really... I don't want to say low power, but maybe the Celica. Of course, I could always buy some stuff too, but trying to be conservative here with the finances, just for now. Eagle Talon. I don't know. Let's try the Talon. Oh god, that's a hard one. GT Celica, GTS Celica. Oh gosh, I don't know. So, let's see here. I'm gonna basically just do, let's see, we'll set it up for custom. Not custom, test drive. Let's try for the, let's see here. We're gonna do the whole Nürburgring. And we'll do, well, the full circuit. I believe the full circuit. So, pretty sure the GP track is on there. I mean, full circuit pretty much means 100%, right? In layman's terms, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. We'll just do that. Heck yeah, let's leave the weather to random. Let's see if it actually rains. We'll throw on some dynamic track rubber. So yeah, the read up on that is when set to on-worn rubber from tires builds up on the track surface over time, increasing grip on a dry track, but reducing grip on a wet track. It's actually kind of funny because it reminds me of going drag racing at the strip there in good old days back in New Jersey about 600 years ago for myself. Man, those drag strips and that rubber on the ground are absolutely slick if the track isn't prepped appropriately. So, yeah, that being said, we'll see how this goes. If you're joining me during the stream, great. If you happen to catch gander at this video post live on YouTube or even on the Twitch here or there or anywhere, thank you for being here and checking out my
Be as aggressive as
amateur
possible through
ignorance
every
when
section.
it comes to
But remember the track
which pedals
limits.
the gas and the
We'd
brake.
hate to see time penalties determine our final finishing order.
I mean, I know she's talking to us like, we're Mario Andretti here, but like, look, I mean, this car, we're not exactly going to be setting any pace records here. So, she could have literally just said, okay, slow cat, good luck, or something. But, yeah, so, oh, and that's a great start right there, almost already, out of the loop. I want to, possibly might have to shift with something other than the G923 paddle shifters because I'm having a fair bit of issues with my right flapper pedal. So if it seems like I don't know how to go up a gear, bear with me. Yeah, just finding the view. Let's go with the hood view. I find this to be the least instructive now. I mean, I know we don't really have like any stats on the screen. Let's see if we can pull those up before we get going. There we go. Give hopefully viewers out there something to look at for reference. Again, apologize if I wipe out here. This is literally what, like a 200 horsepower car, and I haven't played this in a long time. So yeah, just warming the tires up as you would. Try to swing wide and then hit the apex and accelerate through. I mean, I know I sound quite ludicrous in my streams. The lack of very many that I have at this point on this new channel, but I promise you, I do know this in theory. It's just putting it to practice. Not so good. Another reason why I play in this test track thing, other than not having done this in a long time, is that I am not one of those people who wants to go online and do the multiplayer racing without having any experience, because I don't want to be that guy wiping everybody out. So, not really into doing the troll thing. Right here, I can just take my leisurely drive in my turbo car that has 0 mods and massive turbo lag, especially when you put it in the wrong gear. But again, this is a 12+ mile course because we absolutely are on the Grand Prix circuit, and then we're going to head out to, I guess, what is essentially a public access road. These videos are all over YouTube about people driving on these roads. Obviously, in real life, they are infamous, and I'm sure if you're watching this stream at any point, you are well aware of the infamy here at the Nürburgring, specifically the Nordschleife, aka the public access portion, which we're approaching now. More often than not, as opposed to triumphs, it is a failure videos. So, yeah, we're going to try not to become a statistic here in failures, which is why I cheesed it with this 200 horsepower car with massive turbo lag, because you can already tell I'm pretty much a Sunday grandma driver. But I haven't experienced this track, obviously, as none of us have, on this portion until just recently, as of today, right? Because they just released it. I've played it all through different console versions of Gran Turismo. I've played it on Automobilista, however you would say that, on PC. I've played it with controllers, with steering wheels, with pedals. I've tried it all. So I'm not new to the Nürburgring experience, but every single one of these iterations of this course, and all the courses for that matter, seem to pretty much have their own, I don't want to say bugs, I'll just say gremlins, mostly due to my lack of skill. So for me, we're just feeling the camber because, again, racing with the Logitech G923 steering wheel paddles, and pedals, it's got the force feedback. I know it's not an ultra high-end steering wheel setup with that being said, but it does have feedback, and you literally, if you have not experienced this before with force feedback and the haptic thing, you gotta experience it. It's worth the investment to get a haptic steering wheel, because I don't know, it's bizarre. You literally feel every single bump in the road, on the wheel, in your left hand, in your right hand. You feel the pressure on the brakes. You feel the anti-lock braking in real time. It is really, really neat. And I did not realize what the whole haptic control thing was about until I had picked up my PlayStation 5 and tried Gran Turismo 7 on, you know, the left trigger and the right trigger, and that has the haptic. And I suppose that, yeah, was definitely my first take on haptic feedback controllers, and I gotta be honest with you, I would never go back. I mean, they're absolutely something to get used to, because when you're not used to the force feedback, it's kind of like, it feels like the pedals are all fighting you, so to speak, which, I don't know, on a Nürburgring, with these off-camber turns and increasing and decreasing radius, apexes, so on and so forth, the ups and the downs, the center of gravity, the weight distribution, balance shift changes on the vehicle itself, the tires, and the simulation here for Forza Motorsports, they are all factored in, and it is something, if you have felt it before, that you understand exactly what I mean. It can be a joy, but it can also be, well, don't they call this like the green hell or something, I think? I mean, so, case in point, it could literally be hell on you if you get it wrong. And it's like, yeah, I joke about this car not being super fast or whatever, but I think it's deceiving too, because if you look at the left-hand side there, we're already doing 75 miles an hour. That sometimes doesn't translate in a 2D environment here. So it kind of, to me, looks like it's like 35 or 40, but I mean, if you were to picture going around this at, what, 70 miles an hour? I don't know. I've never taken a corner on a public street, which is what this is, in my life at 70 miles an hour. So, I mean, like, just thinking about the consequences in this game as opposed to real life. Yeah, it may look slow here, but in real life, I feel like this would be exhilarating and absolutely terrifying. And it is something that I would do. You know, God rest her soul, Sabine Schmidt, right? She was a BMW experience driver. She used to take out, I believe, for the longest time, the four-door BMW V10 with the 500 horsepower. What was that, the 5 Series, the M5? And just, I can't imagine ripping around this course with a 500 horsepower four-door saloon. It would be absolutely just bonkers. So, everything's going okay so far, but I am literally being super careful with my weight distribution and how hard I hit these brakes. Slamming on them in a straight line is all good, but the thing that this course has, that a lot of professionally groomed tracks in this game, and probably real life, I'm sure, have, is the grading, right? Like, this actually feels like a public road with the haptic feedback and everything. So, it is indeed nerve-wracking. Again, I referenced the green hell, right? Out here in Germany, in the, the countryside. I also believe there's a place that's not very far from here. It's like the Nürburgring Castle. I just couldn't imagine visiting a place like this and just seeing the awe-inspiring scenery. It would be quite a sight. So again, if you're here and you're watching this live or not live or not at all and you never showed up anyway, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for not being here. I thank you all. Because gaming 2024 and beyond, we are blessed to have such incredible games. I don't want to date myself here, but I come from an era where the uncle had Atari and ColecoVision, and it was like Congo Bongo was the game, and Miner 2049er, whatever, and geez, Nintendo, Sega Master System, Genesis, 32X, Jaguar. Who remembers the Jaguar? I wanted the Jaguar for so long for that Aliens game with the Space Marines and everything. Those were the days. Now I'm just an old, decrepit man, and I look at this and I am definitely impressed by it because I guess when you look at this, right, like one of these trees probably has enough texture detail in raw file size that is probably bigger than the actual Nintendo game itself, right? So like how far we've come and what technology has done for us, right? Not even just in gaming. How about in like medicine, right? Modern science, biology, all that. People are living longer through medicine, through medical procedures, and cut the chatter because this is that famous corner right here. This is where you see a lot of people wipe out. See all the people up on the stands, grandstanding there in the grass. This is where all the videos are usually filmed, where you see fail Nürburgring, best fails 2023, 2024. We didn't wipe out there, but I guarantee you if we started this after the long driving hiatus that I took in preparation for waiting for this track, we had come out here in that 1,035 horsepower rear-wheel drive Mclaren. Yeah, buddy. So, you really feel the miles on this, right? It's insane to think about how there's the 24-hour Nürburgring, you know, like the Le Mans course, whatever. 24 hours of this track all out is absolutely preposterous. And we're talking about cars that are what, like Corvette C7R, Porsche GT3s, whatever. I mean, there's that one Volkswagen diesel hybrid electric, whatever. I think IDs or whatever it's called. All I know is it's super fast. Set some lap records here. I couldn't imagine driving a car like that for 24 hours. It's just like 200 horsepower, and I'm like literally trying to give all that I've got into communicating and not wiping out. It doesn't look very good if I crash on a live stream. Since I am the OCD perfectionist that I am, for me, crashing is like, uh-oh, gotta end the stream, crash once. I mean, realistically though, you gotta hold yourself to a high standard, right? Because literally, if you went and did, hey, look at that on the right up there, at the 1 o'clock, yep, there's that Nürburgring. Speaking of beast. But yeah, I mean, if you had come out here and crashed in a real car, I mean, I guess your laps would kind of be over as well, right? So, yeah, there's always that. So we'll just do one lap with this slow car, and then I'll pick something a little bit more tacky, a little bit more gaudy, a little bit more performance enthusiastic. I don't want to have a stream with just this Eclipse, although I love it as an automobile with wheel drive. We'll go to something a little bit more risque. So I'll get to the finish line, we'll back up out of here, we'll grab something else and come back out for something even stronger. The right paddle seems to be working out. Did you see that? It went from second to fourth there in the upshift. That's that paddle. Just happy it's working because the other day wasn't working at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop on out of here. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Alright. Unfortunately, I'm not getting anything for this because we're not actually completing any races against any AI, but that's okay. Just here for the stream and the experience. Hopefully the views. If you like it, fantastic. If you don't, that's cool too. Definitely, I don't know. I'm so new at Twitch, I don't literally even know. If you can even comment on a video here, like you can on YouTube. Yes, my ignorance shines. However, if you can, by all means, let me know what you liked and you didn't like. Even if you didn't like me. Oh, what do we step up to? Well, let's go back here. So 320 in the D class. I mean, that Type R is cool. I don't know anything about the Hyundai. Obviously, I'm assuming it's a front-wheel drive. drive. So yeah, the Talon and the Eclipse. Yeah, those are both all-wheel drive, very similar. Don't want to go to an 803R 600 on a B. Let's see what the Volkswagen is. Is the Golf R? So it's the 2-liter turbo, 288 horse. I mean, the index is a lot higher, meaning it's a theoretically faster car, but the horsepower, I mean, I don't know. How about, yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this one, and then I'll use, after this, I'll get something significantly faster, because I feel like this would be good for a warm-up. I know, let's do something crazy. Let's do like a midnight run, hey? Yeah, let's do a midnight run in the Golf R. See how this goes. Trying everything possible to wreck the stream, even though I don't want to. Yeah, that's what I want to see. I'm kind of a night owl
We'll be
myself
monitoring
anyway,
tire wear
so-
over the course of the race. If you feel like decreased braking and handling is slowing you down, hit for fresh rubber.
I mean, thank you very much. Oh yeah, this ought to be great, and it's foggy too. That's just brilliant. Yeah, this is like Twilight Zone style, like a horror movie. Right, speeding down these back strips here is gonna be nuts. Those lights the way they are. And there's this fourth and sixth. There's the brake spots. You know, I gotta say, so we've stepped up from the Talon to 288 horsepower in this Golf R. What fascinates me is thinking about, you know, paying the respect that's due to these old school car warriors that used to drive circuits like this all the time, right? Like Mario Andretti, the unbelievable Ayrton Senna. We're talking about people who drove Indy cars literally without traction control, monstrous turbos, ton of lag, and they would drive like this, essentially, I know this sounds corny, but using nothing more than their intuition and their brain, which is like preposterous when you consider, you know, those old cars used to literally have, those Indy cars used to have what? 800,000 horsepower? And what is an Indy car from the 90s weigh? Probably, like, figuratively speaking, compared to a standard Golf R? Nothing. So the power to weight ratio for that has got to be just terrifying. And to do it lap after lap after lap, you know, it really kind of, as cheesy as this sounds, it really puts the spotlight on what people are capable of when they so appropriately say, you know, when you put your mind to it, you can kind of do whatever, you know, anything you want. Because the thought of doing this on repetition, and then as somebody who would be doing it not for fun on a video game, but to make money and to put your team on the leaderboards, hopefully in first place, and to beat stiff competition, like if you're Ayrton Senna and you were responsible for taking podium wins on a Mclaren team. You know, you've got manufacturers out there like Ferrari. I mean, these are big ticket companies here that literally, you know, and just think about the name, Ferrari, right? Like, you're in competition with the manufacturer that essentially is a purebred and has, you know, engineering in their back pocket. The way that they know how to build their engines, the way that they know how to reduce weight in engine, right? Like, where can we shave weight off of the piston skirts? How thin can we make the cylinder walls? How far does the piston have to go up and down? How much stroke is going to be on the crankshaft? You know, and these are all things that, you know, you're working against, not just driving the car, but you're also kind of fighting the factory, aren't you? I mean, as a driver, your abilities as a driver has to also couple very well with the specifications of the car, the intricacies that the engineers build in to give you the tools to achieve greatness. And that's super corny, but I mean, really, it takes the best of the best to come out here and throw down on a consistent basis. You know, like, think about the movies, right? Ferrari versus Ford, like, I don't know, rivalries, the competition. I feel like it has the potential to bring out the best in everybody and advance, you know, not only just the industry, but people's passion for one another, the level of respect that you can get out of going wheel to wheel, toe to toe, fender to fender in an environment like this, when you are literally putting everything on the line. Your life, your soul, your ambitions, your promises, your goals, all of it. Right? That's why they make movies about it. That's why we write history books. That's why we are human beings. Because this is what we do. As I said, going back to something I mentioned just a few moments ago, what a great time to be alive and be a video game enthusiast. Right? Not even for just Forza Motorsports. I remember a while ago they used to say, like, stories in video games, are they as captivating as the things you see in the movies? I don't know. I beg to differ with someone who says that's not how well video games are coming along these days. They truly are the experience of a lifetime, right? Because literally, when you're watching a scary movie, you can watch it, and as long as the video is saying play and I'm crashing, you know, you're watching the video and the time track is moving forward, so you're watching whatever's happening. What happens if you play a video game that's scary, right? I mean, you're the one that has to actually press the controls to move forward towards that sound that you hear in the woods, or that dark hallway with the bathroom light on at the end that you have to get into, but there's possible ghosts on the way. Yes, I'm referencing the video game Visage. If you've never played that, try that out for a scare. But I mean, that's it, right? You are the captain in command, and that essentially is what makes video games as incredible as they are. I've seen some pretty sweet movies, as we all have, but man, the ability to involve yourself in the action is literally what makes this incredible, right? That's why we all play the games that we play, because we find something in that we relate to. Dare I say? For me, I guess it's just torment, because I can barely see the road, but somehow this is entertaining to me. It's great. Fantastic. And I don't want to be quiet on the stream, so that's why I'm kind of chattering. I mean, this 2-liter 4-cylinder sounds cool and all, but I feel like there's more exotic hardware out there that we can be listening to. I'm just working my way up to something a little bit more meaningful. No pun intended. If you like Volkswagen, that's great. I've got a Volkswagen myself. 6-speed VR6 Jetta manual. Love it. But I gotta be honest with you, if if I was going to pick a Volkswagen over Porsche. We're going to set the Volkswagen keys to the side for that one. And what do I think of this track, right? That's what you're here for. You're here for the track, hopefully. As this just came out, I don't know if they're ever going to tweak it or change anything, but I feel like this is pretty sick. AKA, I like it. Not sure I like this Volkswagen though. It's definitely a little bit more jittery than Talon. I suppose there's probably, what, a good 80 more horsepower here, even though I guess this is all-wheel drive. It feels a lot more sensitive on the braking. I gotta be honest with you, a lot of people say if you watch, you know, like, things to know before starting Forza Motorsports, the one thing that you should probably do is use customized steering input settings, and I have not done that. So this is literally whatever Forza Motorsports programs in for their standard sensitivities, you know, steering wheel range of motions, these like whatever, 900 degrees, what I don't know, whatever the standard is. So yeah, it's doable, and I'm sure I could make it better by tweaking it, but I sort of just get used to what I get used to. That being said, it's like, I don't know, I guess I'm a creature of habit. Example, if I play Grand Theft Auto, I've always played that on console, so it's a controller game for me. I tried swapping over to PC and doing the first-person thing, thinking it would be like Call of Duty. I know that's very misinformed of me to just assume, but it was not. And it was so much different than my usual console and controller that I literally couldn't do it. This is the game that I played for however long, 5, 6, whatever years it's been. Played it the very first day that the online came out, and it's always been a controller game for me. So, point in case, I suppose that's why I'm literally just leaving these standard settings here, because I've literally never monkeyed with any of the settings on this or any other driving game. So, I guess creature of habit. This really, I hate to say it, I'm here to try to spotlight this Forza in this Nürburgring. What this really makes me want to try, though, is, gosh, I gotta head over to the PlayStation 5 and do a stream sometime, because, you know, having the PSVR 2 coupled with the PS5 and this G923 wheel coming out to a track like the Nürburgring, throwing on the rain and the midnight setting, and then literally trying it like that, it is an experience like no other. For sure. Like I always, before I had invested into the VR experience, I always thought, well, maybe like this is just some sort of gimmick. I can assure you, having an automobile interior around you and fenders literally gives you the sensation of speed. I mean, look at us now. We're doing theoretically 130 miles an hour. I mean, yeah, that's cool. Kind of looks just like highway speed. But you feel this in VR. 100%. Whatever you see, experience-wise here on the screen for VR is literally magnified. Tenfold. Easy. If you have the assets, you can get yourself a PSVR, PSVR 2. You absolutely have to try a driving game with everything being 1-to-1 scale. And what's really neat about it is if you hold your hands on the steering wheel, if you have the steering wheel in the VR, in the same locations in real life that the driver in the game is holding, you sort of melt into the simulation because you feel like that driver's AI parts in the car literally are yours. It's just a remarkable thing. I would suggest that if you're a fan of technology, try it out. Okay, so done with the Volkswagen. Nice. Let's try to step that beast up a little bit, though, huh? I don't want to go straight to the Mclaren because it's a little bit too much for me. It's great, but I kind of cheese it. You take that car, you go out onto the Daytona Oval, and decimate everything. So it's like real easy. Another reason I haven't focused too much on this game is because of all the pending changes they were doing with the way that this game is kind of received quite a bit of backlash. You know, unlockables with vehicles and things of that nature being changed. I didn't really want to invest too much time into a IP that I wasn't sure what was going to happen with it. But now that they changed it, in my opinion, towards the better, I think it would be quite worth the time to try to do this. So yeah, we're looking at 691 horsepower, 3.8 liter flat 6 twin turbo Porsche GT2 RS. This is fairly customized. It's got those bronze wheels. I don't know. I just thought the bronze polished or brushed or whatever kind of look really neat with the black because they're dark and they show reflection just like the paint, but they're not like gaudy. I mean, in my opinion, as much as chrome is gaudy. So also 3,197 pounds. This car is also insanely fast, and it's one of my favorite cars I think so far that I've driven in this game because, well, I'll explain it when we get to the track. That is, of course, if you're still with me and watching. If you are, I appreciate yous out there. So we're gonna go. Let's do like a morning, right? Let's go even more morning, as in sunrise. Maybe we'll get some sweet reflections with that. You should be able to view this video in 4K with ray tracing. I literally have all of the graphics 100% boosted on this, as high as they can go in 4K. So if there's stream quality loss, or you see this on YouTube and you're not seeing that reflected in the quality, it probably looks better on the live stream than in an archived video footage, because I noticed they're not the best if you don't, you know, directly capture it. But I assure
Normally,
you, settings
I'd
are
say
up.
be
Oh,
consistent
gosh,
and hit your marks. But today in the wet, every lap will be different with changing track conditions. Just stay focused and you'll do great.
Yeah, so there goes the happiness. Whatever. It's only 12 miles, right? How rough could it literally be? Listening to me chat, 12 miles, literally probably versus watching the game. Oh, sure. But this is neat, right? Wow, that's sick. I like this. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of Cyberpunk. I think the best time to be in the game is Cyberpunk 2077. It's right after a rainstorm, when the ground's wet, and the reflections are all way up. Now you can see this car is quite a bit more powerful. Not only that, it sounds absolutely raunchy. Everything we all come in known to expect out of a Porsche, right? So I said I was going to explain why I like this car. It's one of my faves. Let's go to the interior. Look at that. Man, that's unbelievable. Love it. So this is it right here. The environmental experience inside of this car, I feel like, is second to none. I mean, so you've got the 12 o'clock yellow band for your centering. Yes, the G923 itself in real life has a anodized standard blue band, but I like how, at least when it's illuminated in the days, I like how it literally helps you focus on steering angle, and you can see like more so where your wheels are theoretically pointed so you don't have any damage. But the sounds from in here, the rain off of the windshield, it's definitely a favorite of mine, for sure. So far, dare I step on my own toes and say the experience here is pretty sick. That'll be okay. Now that we actually have a readout in the thing, let's go ahead and do something crazy. Let's go ahead and get back to the that's what I want. Let's do a little bit more of the ambient thing. And turn everything off and just experience this. I'm going to try to stop yapping so much for this lap, just let you hear the car and the sounds and everything. So let's do a little bit of that. By far has the best lighting. Now I know that that's probably due a lot to the RTX being on maximum setting, but like even the lighting on the side, even the spectators on the side, all that at night, the rain, the way that it makes the water, the specular gloss on the road surface there. I mean, look at, I don't know if you can see it, but look at the haze from the headlights kind of illuminating, like just above the track level to show the, I don't know, the rain, condensation, humidity, combination of all of it. It's insane. Like, this is literally the highest quality render. I mean, look at that. Look at that right there. You know what I mean? Look at that light. Look at how it lights up the individual rain beams. That's stunning. Right? First time of ever being on this track, well, technically the third time, right? And we did it in a Talon and a Golf for this. So if I can't beat those times, you know. About this Porsche is you are in an extreme amount of control considering the circumstances with this weather, but the problem is you can push this car so hard if you're not careful that because you are literally on the proverbial bleeding edge of traction, braking, everything, steering. When you lose it in this car, you are pretty much at going too fast. If you lose it in this car. Brake balance though, way refined. And the Talon and the Golf, although I would assume, obviously, if you were to drive this car in real life as opposed to like comparing this to Volkswagen or an EU Talon, nothing against those cars, the standard form. But I don't think there's anybody close. There's going to be a no penalty. If you were, as I was saying, trying to compare this car to an 90s car, it's just not, you know, on a course like this, this is like this is one of the things that Porsche do best. And their cars here are developed specifically for the Nürburgring and performance like this. Whereas I feel like you could probably go down to, you know, again, no pun intended, any used car lot, any used internet site, pick any Talon up, and it probably isn't going to perform like a factory fresh Porsche GT2 RS, especially not one with 690 horsepower. Or GT3 RS, excuse me. So this would be the new one of the newer ones, GT2 RS, GT3 RS. Heck, even a standard Porsche is quite a level of refinement. Although, let me draw that back in a little bit. So sure about those older Boxsters. Yeah, Porsche Boxster. And if that's your thing, who knows? Power to you. But this track in this weather in the Porsche, this is where it's at for me. Famous corner, infamous corner, depending on how you wind up after the exit. Which YouTube video you wind up on. Very bumpy section of track. Hard to see anything. Yellows, the whites, the reds, look at how they shine on the wet track surface. That is insane. The way that the light feathers up, look at that left hand corner with that lighting. God, I know I'm gushing, but by far why I like driving these games at night, because this is just awesome. If you were not personally favorited by now, you certainly are. I'm not going to do the whole comparison to Gran Turismo 7 in relation to this, because I think both games have their place in history. I'm just going to say I like them both a great deal. If this track, this game had VR, with the level of detail put into the lighting here, that would be absolutely stunning. Although I'm not sure how that would work. How does PC ray tracing work on a VR headset? I don't know. Is gaming hardware up to that level yet? I don't know. I know that I think the replays on Gran Turismo 7 on PlayStation are literally just the replays. Something like that. But these are on full time. Brilliant. Let's do something incredibly irresponsible and head on over to that 1,000 horsepower Mclaren. Thing is, though, absolutely not trying to do that in the rain. So we're gonna have to make sure that that random is set. And I would like to actually have a little bit of sun. I mean, that was cool because of the ambiance, but I would love to see a little bit of sunrise. I was trying to get a ray trace sunrise for you guys. That's why I picked early morning. But I think what I need to do. Let's see here. Yeah, it's got to be sunrise, though, doesn't it? I mean, I think it was because it was raining that we did not see the actual sun. Big clouds, thin haze, patchy fog, overcast, wet, moderate rain. We don't want to go. It obviously just gets worse and worse. So let's do mostly clear, but throw in a little bit of clouds. I feel like the clouds actually add to the environmental. Full circuit. Yeah. I guess I'm not silly. Full circuit at 1,035 horse Mclaren. Okay. Again, if you're still here, or you've skipped around in the video and you are actually watching this post-stream, you're still here, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
When it comes to multiple bins strung together, look for the straightest possible driving line no matter how curvy the blacktop is in front of you.
Yeah, whatever you say. Sure is an awesome looking car, man. I wasn't aware. Did I actually pick up the chrome wheels? I feel like I didn't. They're obviously aftermarket. Those are not Mclaren factory wheels. And I do remember changing them, but I don't remember picking chrome. It is what it is, though. Whatever. Guess you gotta be gaudy when going around the Nordschleife for absolutely no one in my empty tracks. See that? Did you see how violent that onset was? Okay, let's go a little bit outside so I can, like, attempt to do this. I mean, yeah, this car's really about it. What was that? I didn't even get to look. The last number I saw was 170 miles an hour. That, my friends, is... Yep. That's why I am not Mario Andretti. Pretty cool to do this on a computer screen, but I don't think I would do this for real in a 1,000 horsepower car. Would love to try it, but I'd also like to live after the experience. Although, you know, oh, look at the sunrise. That's also why it's moving miles an hour. That's sweet. I was complaining about this McLaren having too much power, and I guess I failed to realize that all my infinite lack of wisdom. So those other three cars, you know, the first two were just warm-ups, and they were very sloppy. Suspension you could feel, and now I can say that with confidence. Suspensions were sloppy because really we're talking about a 1990s Talon as opposed to a McLaren with the custom suspension and, you know, whatever, the gearbox and all that. This car is so responsive that as long as I don't get overly aggressive in the corners, this might literally be the easiest car to go around with. And I mean, it don't sound half too bad either, does it? I don't know. There's a lot of people out there who say that the McLarens lack soul, I guess, maybe. The experience of driving. driving a McLaren is has so much motivation through the implementation of the technology that it really makes people fantastic drivers. And this car is most certainly helping me out with 1,035 horse. But what is it in comparison to slapping gears around on, like, you know, a 6-speed LP 640 Murcielago V12 Lamborghini, right? I mean, that's soul. This is pure speed, unquestionable, raw, ridiculous speed. I mean, literally not even trying here. Partially because I don't want to crash on stream, but also because the car is doing me many favors in controlling itself. Like right here, this corner's right here always challenging me. You come down here, and then it's the compression at the bottom and the left, right? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Compression, and then see that? Even on the McLaren Senna, it's just magnified because of the absolute speed and momentum you have going through there. Still, standard wheel settings, standard button assignments, standard everything. And I'd beg to differ if there was a complaint about, are the standard settings good enough? I didn't crash there, and all I've been doing is commenting about crashing. So, it works. And that is on a 1,035 horsepower Senna, which literally has an upgraded suspension. So these suspension settings are standard. I have not modified anything other than what the game puts the settings at. I may have thrown the wheel, the tire PSI up like 1 or 2 PSI, maybe. But, yeah, it is just business. What a sick ride. Now, I guess, it kind of, you know, makes sense, like, why one of the most prolific IndyCar GP drivers in history is aforementioned Ayrton Senna, or Ayrton Senna, however you would like to pronounce it. And it is exactly why this car was named after him. It is the embodiment of automotive performance excellence. Without question. If there were ever a case that anyone would ever say, as I did just say several minutes ago, that McLarens might lack soul, who really cares if you have the fastest lap times in the world, and you have the most clout, right? Like, you go out and it's like, oh, there's that guy in the McLaren. He doesn't have a 6-speed manual. He doesn't know what it's like to shift gears in the corner, downshift, blah, blah, blah. Right, but I mean, look at this lap, right? I don't know what the statistics are, but I guarantee you the raw input data that you're seeing on the left and the right, I guarantee you that throttle percentage has been closer to 100% of the time than in any of the other cars, excluding the Porsche, because you can't clearly drive like an animal in the rain in a rear-engine, rear-wheel drive car. But who cares? This car is devastatingly quick, and this track is super cool. You want to speak about the steering wheel experience with haptic feedback? Right back there. Those 2 carousels that you get on this course, they were almost nearly for my entire childhood, starting at Gran Turismo 1 or any iteration of any video game driving history-wise that ever had this track in it. I would approach those on a controller and literally fly right out of that corner and up into that guardrail on the high side. Why? No. definitely has a little bit to do with my IQ level, lack thereof. But also, it's this haptic feedback. It really, really puts you, as corny as it is to say, in the driver's seat. That's what you want out of a driving game, right? That's why I don't read reviews on games. This game has had its fair share of negative publicity, but this is enjoyable. Easily as enjoyable as any other platform on any other sim or arcade game I've ever played, for sure. And I absolutely mean it when I say the level of detail in this course is by far the highest, in my opinion. Sure, maybe factually provable or unprovable, but I don't know. I think this is the best version of Moto GP course. Moto GP, I guess it makes things two-wheel motorcycles now with four wheels. The GP track, excuse me, and the public access ring, aka Nordschleife. Look at that sunrise, huh? I just don't know. Driving Nirvana. Sweet it is. Again, carousel. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. I feel like I'm going to really be able to blast down the straightaway with this car. Especially that corner, that left-hand sweeper. Blast family. Man, girl, whatever this car is. I don't differentiate, you know what I'm saying? We're doing 190 miles an hour. This car can be whatever it wants to be. Look at it. 205, still accelerating. Stiff suspension, haptic feedback going absolutely nuts in my hand. Car wanting to shimmy all over the place. I'm gonna have to live here. Wow, dude. And then the brakes. Clearly monstrous carbon. I'm not even sure in real life I would not upchuck. Slamming on the brakes from 200 plus miles an hour, hitting a corner at 70 to 100, just like that. To be honest with you, if you could do something like this in real life and get away with it, tell the tale, I think it would change your life forever. 100%. This would be an adrenaline dump like very few other adrenaline dumps. Kind of reminds me of those demo flights that people go on with like the United States military, the Blue Angels in the Navy, and the Air Force's Thunderbirds with the two-seater F-16s and the FA-18 Super Hornets. They offer those flights. Obviously not free. I'm not sure how you get into one, but you see these videos. Look it up if you haven't seen one. The way that they take people on those rides where you're accelerating from a standstill at the beginning of the runway threshold, and then you're hearing the pilot as you're sitting in the back holding on for dear life. You know, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 pounds of afterburning thrust, right? And at the end of the runway, you pull up, right? You're pulling what, 9 times the gravity at a standstill, and then you're doing what? Sea level to 50, 20, 30,000 foot inside of what? Maybe a minute? How could you not want to live like that? As corny as I am and as low as my IQ is, there's one thing I've said before and I will say again. If you're still here listening to this, now is a good time to live your dreams. Today is a good day to be alive. Do what you want. Make others happy. Live with no regrets. Help us all on planet Earth wake up to a brighter tomorrow. So, I know that it's a little gushy, but I guess I'm wrong. I very well may be wrong. I am over here talking about how the Senna has no soul, theoretically. Here I am, mushing like a little baby. But look at the sunrise, look at the clouds, hear the car, watch the track, see the numbers on the left and right. It's self-explanatory. Sorry, Mr. or Mrs. Insurance Company representative. Yeah, you know that $2 million car? Yeah, so my deductible's $500, but you kind of owe me $1.5 million because hit the wall at Nürburgring. Well, I don't know. I don't think we did. It sounded quite rigorous, but again, real clearance on this car and curves are not favorable. Paddle double ships up in this car. It's like there's literally so much power here, it doesn't even matter. It's like, cool, go ahead and just do whatever you want. Paddle shifter. It's not like your brand new G923. Chuck. But that's okay. I'm not gonna spoil my fun. Actually, the higher gears I feel are favorable to this car anyways, because by those lower gears, the gears are just too short, but not tall enough, so you inevitably bounce off have to do a second lap on this car. I was in the middle of a sentence and I did not want to back out to the lobby. Just off. Driving though, I must tell you, may not look like much, but looking back, it does take a lot of focus. Hit that right-hand curve there. Trying to close in that barrier. A little bit of opposite steering there. Leading off 100 miles an hour, just like that. Yes, indeed. To end that route on a good note. Literally do not want to gack that up. Just say we do one more lap, but we'll just go look at the cars, right? Can we do that? Why not? So, let's see what there is here. I'm gonna buy something. I'm not earning any credits for any of this we're doing. It's the car list. Ariel with the V8. Now that might be cool. Without the window. Noted. Want any homologated Audis. BAC would be kind of cool. BMWs is the Martins. Bugattis. Everybody loves the Grand National. Ask yourself earlier, why do I own a 1988 Monte Carlo? Because I had an 87 Super Sport a long time ago. That was a compulsive buy. We're not going to take that around because that literally is like driving a boat with wheels. I don't know. I really think I'd like to go to that Ariel. Let's pick up that Ariel. I don't know how... They've changed things with the way that you upgrade the cars here, but we'll see. I think in the Ariel ad is absolutely product for anybody's garage. 3-liter V8, 475. Even standard with 475 horsepower, no modifications, we're looking at an S-Class with 1,433 pounds for the vehicle weight. I mean, that's kind of power to weight ratio, 0.331 horsepower per pound. I'm wondering, we got to go over to Bugatti real quick. I want to see. So 0.331, because we got to go into something like maybe, let's go into one of the big dogs. Let's go into the Devo. Yeah, it's the highest number. What's the power to weight ratio on a Devo? 336. Look at that. It's easily more than twice the weight, if not 2.5 times. It's got almost 1,500 horsepower and an enormous amount of unspeakable torque, right? But it's got a 336. So what does a Devo cost in real life as opposed to an Ariel Atom? We're talking bang for your buck here. Like, straight up, right? Straight up. 331 versus 336. I mean, they're technically, it's like half the car, right? Or a little less. But it's technically almost exactly the same. Which, put that into perspective for a moment. A car with no windshield is basically a Bugatti, Chiron, Devo, Super Sport, whatever. Any of them. That's nuts. So this car is not a go-kart. Looks like one, but we'll see what it is. We'll do one more. Let's go. We'll do something a little different. Let's do a sunset. We'll make sure that it is, yeah, mostly clear. I don't know. Let's go with partly cloudy. I just want to show off a little bit more of the game's aesthetics, right? So one more. GP plus Norge Life, and see if we can not get around this. I'm afraid a little bit, because if this thing is sort of like go-kart-esque, I don't want to put it into a wall, so I'll go slower at the beginning.
Late in the race, the outside of turns could be covered in rubber marbles from everyone's tires. So take that into account before attempting to pass slower traffic.
Look at the car itself. Oh yeah. So I'm hoping this right off of the bat. There you go. As I was saying, golf cart-esque. Oh, and it's right-hand drive. Yeah, let's try that out. Well, let me know. RPM. So we're just gonna pretend like that little wall script didn't happen. I'm sure this car is Transportation Safety Board compliant. So, those thin carbon fiber bumpers, I'm sure they added that impact. So, several turns in. Initial opinion, feels like 1,400 pounds. By that it feels light. Turning, you can tell this car does not carry a lot of momentum going into a corner. You can't feel the weight shifting around as much on the front because there literally is barely any control. So yeah, definitely a performer. And really, like, when you think about the RPMs on this, I mean, my God, it's just like being in this, like on a street bike, you know, sport bike, whatever. brake, but I'm afraid if I slap on the brakes here, and the car will unsettle the back. Confident enough to take that almost full out. So it's got some stability to it. But man, look at, like, this is just like, God, this is the business, isn't it? There's literally no windscreens obstructing your view, no A-pillars, no glass, no nothing. So, the view. Yes, what I'm trying to say is it's very unobstructed. Try to get around this lap, hopefully. There's a twitch there that I was wondering. I think it's going to rear set. I'm going to do my best again. If the paddles malfunction, double upshift and don't upshift at all. It's cool. I'm not going for a world left right now. But, that being said, I'll do my best. Very energetic. There's a lot of feel in the suspension. Feels, you know, being as standard as it is, definitely feels softer. It feels more like a factory ride in, like, I don't know, Honda Accord or Nissan Altima, as opposed to that tightened up Senna that we were just in. Naturally, though. Although I wonder if we were to actually upgrade this suspension-wise, it's almost too fast as it is for 1,433 pounds. So if you were to tighten the suspension up, I don't know. Would it have a tendency to bolt off to the track, like off the side of the track? You know what I mean? Some bumpy roads, the haptic feedback. I feel like it would be very easy to lose control in this car. Way more than anything else we've driven. Even the standard Eagle Talon and the Golf R from the beginning of the stream. Feels like it's far more potentially reckless than others. It's okay though. We're here for the track. Definitely feel the loftiness. Kind of feels like the faster you go, or I feel like I'm in, like riding on a cushion of air. It feels like the whole car kind of gets lifted up. And we've got that giant, like, shopping cart wing in the back, which I'm sure is helping. Senna when it comes to grip. That's cool though, because we're at this thing, right? Literally the sounds make this car. Even if you invest into this car and you get nothing more out of it, casual laps, that engine, different price. Alright. So, just cooling down here. And I'm thinking I wanted to get a quick stream up, try this new Forza Motorsport update, and put this out there in case there's any viewers now, later, or possibly even if you're viewing this, as I said many times, even on YouTube, post stream. If you like the content, let me know. Also suggest what I can do better, and my goal here is to build this channel and make it a comfortable hangout zone on both platforms, YouTube and Twitch. So, if you liked what you saw, I'm very happy with that. If you didn't, I promise I shall try to do better. With that, I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Regardless, if you made it this far into the video, fantastic. This course is awesome. This game, in my opinion, is awesome. Easily comparable to any of the other games on the market. I base my games off a fun factor, because the reality is I'm not actually in Germany in real time, racing around 700 horsepower Porsches in real life. So for me, it's all about what can these games and these streams offer to myself and the community. Hopefully that's creative content, or at least informative at the very least. But that being said, again, can't thank you enough for being here. And hopefully we'll see you again if you did stop by in the future. And if not, I wish you a very, very excellent 2024 and beyond. So, for now, I will see you all in the next stream or on YouTube. Catch you later. Bye-bye.